Welcome, listeners, to An Industry's Insight, the podcast where we're all about the interviewees who have been or are still in the music, publishing, marketing, film, advertising, managing business, and more. I'm your host, Thomas Grabuznik. Let's get right into it. So, on the phone with us, we have...
My name is Michael Groth. I have a Pokemon YouTube channel called M&J TV. Has about 650,000 subscribers. So I guess I count as being a part of one of the industries they just mentioned.
Yeah, it's different. So far we've had music and managing, and now we have a gamer or YouTuber. And what is your YouTube channel mean?
It's short for Michael and Justin TV, because when I first made the channel back when I was 14, it was me and my younger brother Justin making videos. So Michael and Justin TV. But my brother isn't a part of making the videos anymore, but the name is the same. So a lot of people say it's Michael and Jubilee TV because my girlfriend Jubilee is in my videos periodically. But right now it's just, it started as Michael and Justin TV, and the name is still the same, even though it's mostly just me.
Yeah. Which is weird because when I first heard of you, like my brother showed me your videos and all that, I never questioned the name actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just like M&J TV Pokevids. Cool.
Yeah.
So do you have a website? You sell maybe merchandise or anything?
Currently, I do not. Planning to do some merch campaigns in the future, but they'd be temporary campaigns. As of now, my YouTube channel is my main site. I don't have an individual separate site as of now.
Okay. Where can people find you? Like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter?
Yeah, obviously my YouTube channel, but my other social medias are Twitter and Instagram are the ones I use the most often. I have a Facebook page, but I don't use that as much. So primarily Twitter and Instagram is where I'm the most active. M&J TV Pokevids, because people took M&J TV, so I added the Pokevids on the end, which was part of my channel name for a couple years, but I got rid of that recently. So
that was
MANDJ TV POKEVIDS. The handle's the same on both Twitter and Instagram.
How did you get started on YouTube?
Well, like I mentioned before, I was 14, and for context, I'm 23 right now, so it was a long time ago. And it was the summer after 8th grade, and I had seen YouTubers like Ryan Higa and Rhett and Link and Smosh, and I was like, I want to be a YouTuber too. I'm going to start making funny comedy videos with my brother. Named the channel M&J TV. So we started doing that, and we did that for a while, periodically. Never really had any success. We got up to 120 subscribers, I think, after 4 years. Finally, the summer after I graduated high school, summer of 2013, I started watching other Pokemon YouTubers, and I thought it'd be fun to make my own Pokemon videos, and so I made a couple, and then I made How Old is Ash Ketchum, and that video took off. It got 1 million views over the course of when I posted it on July 31st, and then it hit 1 million views in December. And that kind of was the first big break from my channel. And from that point on, I was like, okay, I'm going to do regular Pokemon videos. And so that's, how I got started on YouTube, and then how I got started doing Pokemon content. It was kind of 2 different phases of my channel, because I didn't do Pokemon content right away.
Yeah, you had the Raccoon Man, right?
Yeah, I did. Raccoon Man was a little bit later. Raccoon Man was 2 years after I started, when I first started doing any Raccoon Man videos. But yeah, then I switched to just Pokemon content.
For you, what makes a good video, and what is the process?
So when you say what makes a good video, do you mean what for my specific videos, or just what kind of YouTube videos do I think are good? What considers just in general? What do you mean by that?
I mean, I'd kind of go with both. From your for your video and what you would consider as a good video?
Okay. Well, for what I consider as a good video, I mean, obviously everybody has different opinions and like taste in what kind of content they watch. You know, there's plenty of very, very popular YouTubers who, you know, I think their videos are garbage. But overall, I'd say a video is good if it achieves the purpose that it aims to do. That wording was mediocre, but like, you know what I mean? If a video aims to educate me about, you know, weather patterns, and I, having finished watching that video, have a substantially better understanding of weather patterns, then that is a good video. If a video is trying to make me laugh, and it makes me laugh, then that's a good video. If a video is trying to teach me like this certain how to beat a certain boss in a video game, and it does so, and maybe if it's funny on top of it, then that's a great video. So I think, you know, if it achieves the goal it set out to complete, then that makes a good video. And also, of course, if it's high quality, like, you know, I can understand the mic isn't terrible quality and stuff like that. That's what I think makes a good video. For me personally, I think what makes a good video kind of depends on which one of my videos I'm making, because I have multiple different series of videos that then the videos vary pretty drastically in what they are, and how they're set up. So like, what makes a good Let's Play video, where I just play the game and record myself doing so for half an hour. I think what makes that good is if I'm funny in my commentary, and if interesting stuff happens.
Yeah.
If it's one of my Pokemon Talk videos, which for those who are unaware, it's this comedy series where I have Pokemon plushies talk to each other, hosting a talk show. And I know that sounds weird, but I promise it's funny.
It's funny. I love it.
Thank you. I'd say what makes a good Pokemon Talk episode is if it's very funny. Because that is the main goal of Pokemon Talk, you know. So if a lot of people are saying that this is a very funny video, then that's good. If it's one of my top 10 videos, if that's a video that's interesting or educational or funny, because, you know, that there's kind of varies among them, then that's what makes it good, in my opinion. But you also asked what the process is, right, for making videos?
Yeah, because you have different types of videos. You have Let's Plays, top 10s or 5s, or then you have
Right.
Your Pokemon Talk. You have...
Those are the big three.
Yeah, those are the... I mean, you used to do like Pokemon questions or like... Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay, so the process... Okay, so I'll start with Let's Plays, because this is what I post the most often.
Mm-hmm.
I use a program called XSplit primarily, where I bring in like my face cam source, the game source, and I position them correctly in like XSplit to line up with the layout. And then I record the game sounds on XSplit and my voice to an external microphone. And then I bring those files into my editing software. I use a software called Power Director. And I sync the audio up, trim off the beginning and end so that it starts as "Greetings, Poke fans" and ends with "Gotta catch them all," my little outro.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just put the layouts on top of it. And if like my party members change, or, you know, I have a death if it's a Nuzlocke, when those happen, I like put in the next image and like have them fade into each other, and then I render it. And so Let's Plays are pretty easy to make. That's why I do them so often. Very
little editing.
Yeah, only about maybe like 15-20 minutes of editing total, which is really nice. And then for Pokemon Talk, I write the script, which can take anywhere from 2 hours to several days, depending on how much inspiration decides to strike me.
Yeah.
And then I record my voice, or my voice and others' voices if there's a guest voice actor, with individual audio files. And then I take the pictures. I have the script on my laptop next to me while I'm taking the pictures, to make sure, okay, this is the picture I have when this line is said. Okay, when this action is said, I need a couple different pictures of Squirtle dancing, whatever. So I take all the pictures, load those into my computer, and then in editing takes longer with this. I put put in the "Hi, I'm Bulbasaur" line, trim off the top or the front and back of it that I don't need. That's blank,
Mm-hmm.
Bring in the next line, and I'm Squirtle. Trim off the front and back and position it just right so that it sounds good. And I'll do a stretch of positioning the lines, and then I'll toss in the pictures on top of it. And then I'll do another stretch of doing just the lines, toss in pictures on top of it and stuff like that. And then top tens, I actually, I write the script or the outline, and then I set up to film with my DSLR camera, my external mic, and I record it. And then lately, because I have been, making enough money to afford it, I send off the footage to my editor, because top tens and similar type videos take a really long time to edit. And so being able to have an editor do those instead saves me a lot of time. So that's what I've been doing lately. But before, I would sync the audio, the external mic audio, to the camera audio, because the external mic sounds better. Chop up what I want, put them in place, and then put pictures and stuff on top of it after the fact for the graphics and such. So that's kind of the process for the big three categories of content on my channel.
So for Pokemon Talk,
Mm-hmm.
the idea comes up, and it takes 2 hours or a long time. For your top tens, how do you get those ideas?
So for top tens, they come from a lot of different places. Sometimes it's suggestions from fans of videos they want to see. Other times it's just I'm taking a shower and I just think of a video idea. I'm like, oh, that'd be good. It comes from various places. Sometimes suggestions, sometimes just on my own. Sometimes one of my YouTuber friends who doesn't really want to do the video themselves but thinks it would be a good one will suggest the video to me, and stuff like that just kind of comes from various different places.
I find it funny that no matter what you do, ideas will come to you in the shower.
Yeah, that as Spencer from iCarly said back in the day, I always get my best ideas when I'm wet.
Yeah.
Going back to the whole video process and everything like that, it's obvious everyone's not on their game when it comes to creating content and stuff every single day. How do you go about creating, say you do an episode of a walkthrough and you're not really feeling it, you're not really liking how you were, how you played or whatever. How do you, do you do reshoots? Do you do stuff like that? How would you take care of something like that?
So it's actually pretty rare that I will re-record an entire Let's Play episode because I didn't think I was funny enough, because my reactions won't be it'd be tough to pretend like I'm seeing something for the first time if I were to re-record it, if you know what I mean. But what I tend to do, what I've gotten better at doing, is realizing ahead of time, I'm feeling kind of out of it right now. I shouldn't record right now because the episode won't be very good. There are times where I'll record anyways and I'll think the video's subpar, but I kind of have to post it anyway because, it's not really practical to redo it. But I always, I've gotten better over time. And since my schedule is so free because I do this full time, I can be okay, I'm just I'm not feeling recording this right now. I'll do it some other time. I'll do it tomorrow if I'm feeling better, that kind of thing. However, I will re-record if I have issues with the recording. Like I realized part of the way through that my mic didn't turn on or something like that. And what I do to mitigate problems like that is I always save the game prior to starting recording and try not to save the game until after I've confirmed that the recordings went fine. Because, if I save, then I like can't really reset to if something goes wrong, I just turn off the game and go back to where I was. But it's rare that I have issues like that because I've gotten pretty good at making sure everything's working and that kind of thing. But that's really the only case with Let's Plays, because if I'm recording a Pokemon Talk episode where each little bit of recording is max 30 seconds long because I record each line individually, those, if I record it and I don't like it, I just immediately do another version of the line. Same with top 10s. If I screw up, like I have a blooper, I just do that little segment again. Let's Plays are really the only thing where I'd have to risk re-recording the entire video.
And like I've watched your Let's Plays, and there's been times where when you want to save during it, you're like, oh, I hope this doesn't mess up the recording.
Yeah.
That's happened before?
Well, there's been times that recordings have messed up, but there have not been times where, thankfully, if I've had to save during the course of an episode, like where I've said something like you said, like, oh, I hope the recording didn't mess up. It hasn't. But there's been times where something's messed up, but I've realized it maybe 5 or 10 minutes into the episode. And then I'll just stop immediately and go back. And that footage never sees the light of day because it's missing, like it's like my voice wasn't recording, or it recorded voices over the game sounds track when it shouldn't have, that kind of thing.
I never thought of that. I always thought your Let's Plays were like, unless you were cutting out footage from going to the Pokemon Center and back and forth. I never thought of that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been a couple episodes or parts of episodes that I've recorded that no one has seen other than me, and no one will ever see.
You went to Rice University, am I right?
Correct.
So, and what did you go there for?
Mechanical engineering.
And that's what you wanted to do before your channel took off before that?
Well, kind of. My favorite subject in high school was physics, mainly Newtonian physics, like forces and inertia and stuff like that, more so than I didn't like the electricity and magnetism as much, but I was very good at it. And so I thought, hey, mechanical engineering, that's structures and forces and stuff. That'll be like physics. That'll be good. That'll be something interesting. Plus, it's a career viable path. I mean, because at the time, when deciding my major going into college, keep in mind, I'd yet to have any success whatsoever with YouTube. My first real success with YouTube was during my freshman year of college.
And that was with how old Ash Ketchum is, right?
Correct. And then a couple more videos I made sparsely throughout the year that also did very well, like what happens inside a Pokeball, who's Ash Ketchum's father, stuff like that. And I thought, oh yeah, like mechanical engineering sounds like something I would enjoy. As I got deeper into it, deeper into my degree, and more into doing YouTube and realizing that YouTube could very well be a realistic, reliable career for me, which is something when I was entering college I never thought would happen. I was just making those silly Raccoon Man videos for fun.
Yeah.
And so as I further got into college, it became more like, I don't want to do this engineering work anymore. It is way harder than I thought it was going to be. It's not very interesting. It's not as interesting as it was. I still liked the Newtonian physics stuff because it was, but then it just got so crazy complicated and stuff I didn't care about as much. And so by the end of college, it was like, I don't want to do this stupid engineering stuff anymore. Let me just finish up my friggin' degree so I can do YouTube full time. So it started as like, okay, this is something I think I'd want to do. I'd always had a creative side growing up, writing stories, making the videos like I talked about for those years throughout high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, parents were like, go for a more reliable backup plan. So I did. But then YouTube took off for me over the course of college. I was fortunate enough to have that happen so that I could do YouTube full time instead of engineering. So it was kind of like engineering became far less appealing to me the more of it I did.
So, and when would you say that your channel took off? Like when it really got really popular and you were like, oh, I could really like do this for a living. Like when did that hit?
That was so the first time it really took off to where I had any sort of semblance of success was like I mentioned with How Does That Come? It's like, oh my god, I'm gaining subscribers. This is so cool. Maybe I could be a full-time YouTuber someday. When it really actually became I could be a full-time YouTuber right now was the summer of 2016, where my channel had a massive amount of growth. Because of both Pokemon Sun and Moon and Pokemon Go hype combined, and also thanks to the encouragement of my friend Pokemon that I mentioned earlier, I started doing Let's Plays for the first time, and while those don't get me very many new subscribers, they're a very reliable source of income because I can make them quickly, so I can do a lot of them throughout the week. They are, and they're long enough to where you can put mid-roll ads throughout them, which drastically increases how much money you make off of a video. So by doing starting to do Let's Plays, and having a lot of growth on the channel over the course of the second half of 2016, it was like, I can do this full time. Like it's gotten to the point where it's like, even if I'm not gaining any new subscribers, like these videos are getting just enough views that I could, like, as long as I just keep posting them, I will have enough money to live off of comfortably. And so I decided to go full time after encouragement from my girlfriend and my friend Pokemon and a couple others, in the early fall of 2016. So at the beginning of my senior year, but I was like, I only have 1 year of college left. My parents would be pissed if I dropped out now.
Yeah.
And I'd be disappointed in myself if I dropped out now because all those years of work would have gone to waste. So I'm going to finish this out. I don't need to get straight A's. I don't even need to get straight A's and B's. I just need a degree. And then I still got A's and B's, which I was very surprised by. But
I mean, you seem like a pretty smart kid, so.
Well, thank you.
Doing engineering and everything, so.
It was definitely a very interesting experience because back in high school, I was always like super like, oh, I'll always do my homework and stuff like that. But there were multiple times my senior year where I was like doing calculations to see, okay, what if I don't do this homework? Like, am I going to be fine? Oh yeah, I'm going to be totally fine. They dropped the lowest grade. This will be my drop grade. And that kind of thing. So senioritis was, powerful force for me my senior year.
Oh, I can
because I was
imagine.
like, I'm not even going to be an engineer. But I toughed it out. I got my degree, and I've been a full-time YouTuber for the last 8 months, since May of last year.
So, as of today, right now, March 6th, your YouTube is at 655 plus thousand subscribers. How did it feel once you surpassed 100,000 and received the YouTube Silver Play button?
That was a big deal because I really liked having a tangible record of my success. And I just think they're so cool. As soon as I found out they existed, I was like, I want that. And I will never forget the night I hit it. I was looking at like the real-time count on YouTube, and I was only like 20 away. So I was like texting every group chat I was in, like, guys, I'm so close to 100,000 subscribers. Will you subscribe to me just so I can hit it? And then I hit it, and I was like, yes. And it was kind of crazy because like I hit it on like June 4th or 5th of 2015, I believe. And I was like, okay, how do I get this plaque? And I like looked it up, and it's like, oh, claim your reward will show up in your creator studio. And I didn't see it for a while, and I contacted my YouTube rep at the time. And he was like, yeah, so the system check for that happens at the beginning of every calendar month. So you should be able to, you should get the message about it at the beginning of July. And I was like, crap, if I hit this like 6 days earlier, would have been able to claim it sooner. And then in July, I like got the actual claim thing like within it was like July like 4th or 5th. It was a couple days, and I claimed it, like filled out the information as soon as I saw it. I'm like, what's your shipping address? And you know, at the time, I was during the summer I was staying in my parents' house, and during the school year I was at college, living on campus at Rice. And I messaged, or I put in my parents' shipping address, and then because I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna, you know, like I'll get it and then I'll get to bring it to college and stuff. And I put that in, and as soon as I like click submit, and you know, they're like, all right, your order's confirmed. You know, you should receive it within 9 weeks.
Oh my!
Are you kidding me? 9 weeks? That's gonna be September. I should have shipped it to Rice. Dang it. I mean, it wasn't a massive deal because my parents only lived about half an hour away from Rice. And I was like, oh, that's such a big inconvenience. And then, like, I went back to campus because I volunteered at orientation week, and the plaque arrived at my parents' house, like, the day after I left.
Wow.
I was like, come on. So I finally got it in September when I, like, met my parents for lunch or something, and they brought it to me. And I got it, and I still have it. It's hanging on my wall next to my diploma right now here in my office. But it's been interesting because it's you know, that first 100,000 was like a massive deal. But for me personally, I mean, I've gotten that many more subscribers.
Yeah.
5.5 more times.
Yeah.
But each 100,000 isn't as exciting for me because they don't give you another plaque.
Yeah, they don't give you another until 1 million.
Yeah, which is like right now it's like, you know, people are like, okay, like some people are like, congrats on 500,000. I'm like, I mean, thank you. It's not 1 million, so I'm not that excited about it. I need that 1 million, you know? I heard something at VidCon when I went to that back in I think it was 2015. Yeah, it was, maybe it was 2016. I don't remember. 2016. It was 2016. And somebody at the creator keynote said, like, fame is a drug. So just be wary of that, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
You'll hit that big milestone, like, you'll hit 50,000 subscribers. You're like, yes, so many endorphins. This is amazing. I hit it. And then it'll wear off.
Yeah.
And then you'll need the next big milestone, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just
you know? And then it'll wear off.
Yeah, just don't let it get to your head.
Exactly. And so for me, that's kind of like, I've definitely taken that to heart, where it's like, you know, all right, I hit 600,000. That's awesome. Cool. You know, let's just keep pushing, you know, like don't get too invested in the numbers. I mean, 1 million's going to be like a big deal because, like I said, I get another plaque and those are great.
Yeah.
But once I hit that, I feel like it's going to be more like, you know, all right, we can chill a bit because the next plaque's 10 million. I don't think that's going to happen with a Pokemon exclusive channel.
Well, you never know.
True. Oh yeah, you never know. But
because years ago,
yeah,
if someone told me there would be Pokemon YouTubers, I'd have been like, yeah, you're lying. If someone
that's true. You never know. You never know how things could change.
What makes you choose what you post? Like, do you go off of what your fans want, or do you go off of what you want?
Oh, sorry, but this is introduce yourself first.
Hi, I'm Claudia.
Hi, Claudia. Nice to meet you. So it's a combination of both. I definitely decide what to post by how many views something gets. You know, if I have an idea for a new series of top 10 videos I could do, for example, like a top 10 videos focusing on a specific topic, and the first one doesn't do very well, I'm not going to do the rest of them. For example, a couple weeks ago, I did a video doing an in-depth analysis of what's really the best Kanto starter Pokemon based on like how well they are, how good they are in playthroughs, how good they are in competitive viability and just popularity, that kind of thing. And it didn't do that well from my standards. And so I'm probably not gonna do ones on the other other regions of starters, like the Johto, Hoenn starters, stuff like that. Because the first one didn't do that well, so it'd be a lot more effort and resources on similar videos that, based on past data, are not going to do very well. But I also, so how many views something gets is important, but I also keep in mind a lot what I enjoy doing, especially in regards to playthroughs specifically, because playthroughs, I'm spending a lot of time on playthroughs. While each individual video of a playthrough is reasonably short, it's maybe an hour total commitment because I'm spending half an hour playing the game and then a half an hour editing it and uploading it and making the thumbnail and stuff like that. But these playthroughs they go a long time. Most of them are 30 episodes minimum. And so because of that, it's like, if I'm doing a playthrough where I'm not enjoying playing the game and I'm not having fun, I don't want to do it. Even if it's a series that's doing well, if I am dreading recording, that's something where I'm like, I don't want to do this. And I'm not going to do this. And so like that's kind of what I focus on is it something I'm going to enjoy, especially if it's going to be a longer commitment? But also keep in mind, is this something that is going to be worth the work? Is it something that's going to be that's going to have much greater return than what I put into it in regards to views or earnings or new subscribers, stuff like that? Because YouTube is a business, and so you have to make smart business decisions. That's part of the reason why I don't make Pokemon Talk all the time. There's a couple different reasons, because I love making Pokemon Talk. It's a lot of fun for me, but it's also quite a bit of work, and the videos do pretty well. Right now Pokemon Talk's doing better than it ever has before, but it also, I've mentioned how, you can only put mid-roll ads in videos if they're more than 10 minutes long. Pokemon Talk is very rarely more than 10 minutes long, because if I try to get it to 10 minutes, a lot of times it's just going to seem like it drags on because it's just a comedy video, not a playthrough. Mm-hmm. And so I have to limit how much I do Pokemon Talk to about once a month is what I do, simply because that's a lot of time and effort put into a video that's only going to make me $1.50 per 1,000 views rather than $5 per 1,000 views. Mm-hmm. So it's a combination of factors, how well something does, but also whether or not I'm enjoying the experience. Because if I'm not enjoying something, a lot of times you can tell in the final product.
Yeah, I totally understand what you mean. Another YouTuber that I watch, Chris Danker, or also Dankops for those who know who he is. A couple weeks ago, he started a series. He does a lot of wrestling video games and stuff like that. He started a series for one of the games, and you could tell that he wasn't really into it. There weren't as many views on the videos as the other episodes of previous games that he's played. To the point where he's like, do you guys even want to see more of these videos? Should I continue making them? Do you guys like them? So I totally understand what you mean by if you're not feeling the walkthrough, you're not going to continue with it if it's not going to be the best content.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that. And see, the thing is that, you'll see, you might see YouTubers ask, would you guys still want to see this mm-hmm. series? I'm thinking about canceling it. There's always going to be people who say, yes, I would want to see more.
Yeah.
Because no matter what you post, the video's not going to get 0 views.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so there's always going to be people who like it, but you have to you can't please everyone. You can never please everyone.
Yeah.
So you got to do you got to figure out how best to allocate your time and your resources into content that you will enjoy the most and that will perform the best.
Like you were doing after you did your top Pokemon of every 18 type. After that, you did top 5 of each type. And
I started to.
Yeah, you did.
And then I was like, these aren't doing that well.
Yeah,
and this wasn't all that fun, so I don't really need to keep doing this.
Yeah, see, I like those videos. I like thinking about that. Because I do that too out time to time. I'll think about, like, my favorite typing or whatever.
Yeah.
So when you weren't doing that, I was like, oh, man, I was, like, curious about, like, what these types were going to be. But like you said, you can't please everyone.
Yeah. Sorry, dude.
It's all right.
Being a YouTuber, can I ask you your opinion on over this past fall and the end of summer about the adpocalypse?
Right. So, thankfully, that's been something that I have not been personally very affected by.
Mm-hmm.
I've only had a couple videos demonetized, and every single one that's been demonetized has been approved very quickly.
Yeah.
But I do think they need to be focusing a massive amount of resources on fixing their algorithm that demonetizes videos absurdly.
Mm-hmm.
And it tends to hit smaller channels more because they're less vetted by YouTube.
Yeah.
I also think it's extremely hypocritical of advertisers to be so whiny about this when, their content shows up next to mass shooting news on CNN all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, YouTube has to in order for YouTube to survive, it has to please the advertisers, which are giving them their revenue.
Yes.
So it's like they're in a tough spot because, advertisers are mad, creators are mad. And so like sometimes I'm like, YouTube, come on, seriously. But other times I'm like, they're trying, they're the biggest video platform in the world.
Yeah.
There's only so much they can do. I think it's only going to continue improving because they're definitely incentivized to improve it because if they demonetize a video, that's ad revenue that they don't get.
Yeah.
But I think it's an annoying situation, but a necessary one. Because there is content on YouTube that is like, oh my God, why is that there?
Yeah, there's definitely stuff like that.
That should not be here. And so I think it's a big challenge for them that they need to overcome. And there's obviously a lot of annoyances that have gone along with it. I think the situation is improving, but it's definitely not there yet.
Yeah.
How did it go with telling your parents about wanting to be a YouTuber after doing college?
So, for a while, I'd mentioned the idea, and they had always encouraged me to go into industry for a couple years, get that experience on my resume, so if YouTube fell through, then I could use that experience that I got to get engineering jobs later, because they were saying how if you don't get a job right out of college, they're not gonna care about your degree because you've forgotten everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I decided that going full time was worth it because, like I mentioned before, it is a more sustainable income for me due to my size, and it would be very tough to maintain YouTube because I did 3 summer internships at an oil company, which I did not like. And it was very, very tough that last summer to maintain doing YouTube videos and having a social life and spending time with my girlfriend in addition to the job. It was a big, big challenge. And I was like, it was soul crushing. What would be a good describer of that experience? And I realized like I can't do that. I can't do that again. I need to go full-time YouTube because, and what's great about full-time YouTube is that I can do my own YouTube stuff, but it also gives me time to explore other entertainment career paths like voice acting and stuff like that. And my what happened was my stepdad texted me. So for context, the oil company I worked for, I did not get a full-time job offer from after the internship because their company was in the toilet.
Oh.
Oil business was doing real bad at that. Real bad at that time. They were like laying people off while interns were there.
Yeah.
And that was awkward. But he texted me one day and he was like, "Have you scheduled any interviews on campus yet for full-time jobs?" Because engineering jobs do most of their recruiting the fall prior to graduation. And I said, and this is after I had been thinking about it for a couple weeks, and I texted back, "No, and I don't plan to. I've decided I'm going to go full-time with YouTube." And I had a Skype call with my mom a couple days later, and obviously my stepdad told my mom what I said.
Yeah.
And she was pretty upset about it. You know, I don't think she fully understood how stable I really was with the earnings.
Yeah.
And she was saying how, you know, and I don't blame her for it. Like, she wants her kid to be financially stable and, you know, not be struggling and stuff like that. And I'll never forget, she said, "Michael, it's scary because I've got friends who have kids that are working for news companies up in New York and trying to make it in that world and barely getting paid enough and really struggling to get by. And I just don't want, like, I don't want that to happen to you while you're trying to make it." And what I said to her was, "Mom, I don't think you realize I've already made it."
You're already there.
Yeah, I have 450,000 subscribers. I'm going to get more between now and graduation. I'm going to be able to post way more videos when I graduate. So I'm going to make even more money. And like, this audience that I have is going to be a big deal in the entertainment world. So that gives me more opportunities. It's not like I'm trying to go full time with 5,000 subscribers. I'm going full time with 10 times that.
Yeah.
And so while they were uncomfortable with it and discouraged me from it at first, they've been very supportive ever since I decided to go for it. My stepdad told me, he's like, I'm not going to lie to you, and I'll tell you, I would have preferred you go into engineering and get some years of experience under your belt first. But since you've made that decision, I will support you in it and do what I can to help. And so it was definitely like they didn't like it at first, but they've definitely come to terms with it and been very supportive of it ever since.
How would you compare making money on YouTube compared to what a type of job within the mechanical engineering would pay? Like, how would you compare the two? Would you say that YouTube would make you more financially stable than what you were going for college for, or how would you compare the two?
Well, see, YouTube very much depends on how much you make on YouTube. Wildly varies depending on the YouTuber. It depends a lot on how big they are. It depends a lot on how often they post videos and what kind of videos they post. But for my personal situation, I make a lot more on YouTube than I would have at an entry-level engineering job. A lot more. And which is great because I'm not living lavishly, I'm not like, those big YouTubers you see buying mansions and stuff. I'm not making that much money.
Yeah, you don't
I'm
have
making substantially more than what an entry-level engineering job makes. And I make a lot more than I spend, which is great because it allows me to save money. So if things, go down a bit and I'm not having as much money coming in, I have a lot saved up. And what's also nice is that just because of my channel size and how often I post videos, even my lowest months of the year are still more than what an entry-level engineering job would make me. And so that is why I decided to go full time, is because I realized this is actually very stable. And so that's why I can do this. And it's also nice because I have so much more freedom, because I definitely spend a lot less time working on YouTube stuff than I would have spent at an engineering office.
Yeah. And wait, how much would a engineer make?
Average is like 60,000 a year, I think.
See, wow.
I mean, I do have to pay more taxes because I have to pay self-employed tax, but even so.
But still, that's that you're making more. That's really cool.
Well, thank you. I think it's cool too.
Other than YouTube, you said that making your different types of videos, like the walkthroughs and of course like the Poke Talks, being YouTuber, how would what are your other plans than YouTube? Like I know before you said it helped you with voice acting and stuff like that, but is there any other plans that you have other than being on YouTube?
So, only a little bit. I recently attended a voice acting class in Dallas run by Chris Rager, which, if any of you guys have watched the Dragon Ball Z animes, he voiced Mr. Satan.
Okay.
And I went to that class, and it was very helpful. It was a lot of in-booth acting experience, and this was very recently. This was like last week. And they said they really liked me, that I did well, and that, you know, I have this audience that I can use as kind of like he was telling me, like, don't be afraid to flex it. But so that's one thing I want to start doing in addition to YouTube, is maybe anime, commercial, or video game voice acting gigs on the side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the process of getting some headshots done and trying to find a talent agency to book me gigs and stuff like that. So that's one thing I want to do, like supplementary to YouTube, because it definitely would make me less money than YouTube. But that's something I want to start getting into early, which is so it can become something I can do. Maybe that voice acting is successful, that it outpaces YouTube at some point, you know? And so the last several months, I wasn't really working on anything, but now that I've gotten into this voice acting stuff, this is one plan that I'd like to do. You know, it's hard to plan exactly because you never know what opportunities are going to come your way, but voice acting in this regard is something I do definitely want to explore more.
Yeah, like for me, I wouldn't the 5 Towns. I would be like, I was always musician, make a band, start doing gigs and everything while doing engineering. I would have never thought I would have been on the radio. Like this would have didn't really cross my mind until last semester.
Yeah.
How do you balance your channel with other obligations, like your relationship with Jubilee or your parents and friends? I don't think you have children, and
I do not have children.
and your job is YouTube, and you're out of school. So how do you balance between all that stuff?
It's honestly, like, it's super easy to balance stuff with YouTube now that I'm doing it full time. It was a lot harder when I was doing school in addition to YouTube, but now that it's like, my schedule is literally whatever I want. And so that makes it really easy to work on stuff. You know, I can, like, if I want to grab lunch with my mom, you know, she's retired. So I can, like, hey, you want to just do, like, Friday at 11:15? Okay. So we just meet up because I don't have meetings or anything. If Jubilee and I want to go on a vacation, we don't have to worry about taking vacation days because we're both full-time YouTubers now. So we could just schedule days whenever we feel like it. So school, it was tough. Now that it's full-time, my schedule is really free. And there are times when I'm really, really busy, like during like hype times, or especially November, December, because ad rates are a lot higher then and want to make as many videos as I can. Those times were a lot busier and harder to meet up with people. But the rest of the time, it's way more chill because, like I mentioned, my Let's Play videos don't take all that much time to make.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember I forgot what Let's Play you were doing, but you like stopped right there. You had lunch with your mom and came back.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Started recording, then realized, oh crap, I have lunch with my mom.
Gotta go.
Yeah, that's happened. That wasn't a having trouble balancing. That was just a me forgetting that I had lunch with my mom and started a recording before lunch when I should have waited until after lunch to do it.
No, and then besides your regular videos, you do stream, right?
I haven't streamed as much recently.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't having as much fun with it, so I haven't done it in a little while. Streaming definitely. If I'm streaming in addition to doing the other stuff, it's a lot busier, because that's like 3 hours at a time that I'm not able to spend working on other videos. That's part of the reason why November and December were so busy, because I was doing 2 videos a day instead of just one, and streaming most every day.
Yeah.
Which was definitely good. It was definitely very lucrative, and it was worth the effort, but it was also way busier.
Yeah.
So streaming definitely makes things. That definitely takes up a solid chunk of time. But since I haven't been streaming lately, my schedule is open.
Now, coming from a pretty successful YouTuber as yourself, for people who are just trying to get onto YouTube, hopefully reach as much success as you have, how would you, what would your advice be to someone to get natural gain subscribers, and how to keep your viewers watching?
I would say it's tough. It is very hard to grow a YouTube channel, especially nowadays, just because it's so competitive. You know, that more and more people get on YouTube every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
I'd
hard.
say one big piece is find a type of content you can make that fills a need that is not currently met on YouTube.
Yeah.
Which is that's a really small.
Yeah, it is. Like brutal honesty, that's hard.
Yeah.
But like, if you can find a type of content that you enjoy making and that fills a need or a desire on YouTube that's not currently met, then you're golden. And the growth will happen just over time if you're consistent. That's another big thing. You have to be consistent on YouTube to have success on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you start having success, like a video blows up, that is the most important time for you to be posting more videos.
Yeah, you can't just like, oh, this is doing good. Okay, I can slack off. You can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'd say. And it's tough. It's not easy. But the most important thing is that you make content that you enjoy making, because that way, like, even if it never has any success, you'll enjoy the experience of making it. And that's the most important thing.
For the last question, sadly, where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years?
Oh, good question. I'll probably still be making YouTube videos in 5 years.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah. I don't think Pokemon's going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, especially since they're coming to the Switch now.
Yeah, exactly. That's gonna be big. Looking forward to that hype.
I'm ready for Gen 8 already. Like, I want it to happen.
Yeah, I'm not getting my hopes up, but that way, if my hopes are not high, then they're more likely to be exceeded.
That's true. Yeah, low expectations, higher results.
Exactly. I'd like to be doing more voice acting stuff in 5 years, just because, I'm at the very beginning of it right now, but hopefully that is successful. And in 10 years, maybe by 10 years, I've grown enough to where I'm doing other entertainment ventures, like maybe I'm hosting a show or something. I don't even know. It's hard to say because I don't know exactly what I want to do,
Yeah.
I
do gotta say, I can see you doing voice acting because from like Pokemon Talk, even though like how some voice actors, they throw their voice like out of, you wouldn't guess it's them. Like for some of your characters, you're like, yeah, you can tell it's Mikey, but some of them are like, okay, yeah, that's really good, but they're not like, it's not like it's just your voice again and again. It's a very noticeable difference between the voices.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I'd say probably still making YouTube stuff because I'm not going to stop YouTube stuff unless I have a good reason to.
Yeah.
So I'll be doing, I plan to keep doing YouTube content until something better comes along. And the only thing I could really see being better would be like hosting the Daily Show or something crazy like that. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
All right. That's all the time we got, listeners. So I thank Michael Groth, aka M&J TV, for being on the show. And one more time, what are the platforms people can find you at?
They can find me on YouTube, of course, obviously.
Yeah.
M&J TV, MANDJ TV. And then you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as well. Links to those are on my YouTube, but also the username is MNJTV POKEVIDS. MNJTV Pokevids.
All right. So thank you again for being on the show.
Of course. It was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So that's the end of the 5th episode of an Industries Inside podcast. Make sure to go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to get the updates and listen to the podcast if you missed it. So until next time, I'm your host, Thomas Grabuznik.
And I'm Dino Ciccarelli.
And we'll talk to you guys later. Signing off.
You know you got to give us an outro, right?
Me?
Yeah.
All right. That's all we have for now. So until next time, Poke fans, gotta catch them all.
That's great.
Oh, that just gave me chills. Yes.
That's awesome.